Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So, big down, big up, tails the upside, tails the downside, and then the US market, we ended up with a green bar close to the upside. Now, the really important thing to pay attention to right now is the weekly. It is Friday. Let's just get rid of that little bar so you can see what we're talking about. It is Friday. We're on the weekly 155, tails the upside, tails the downside. Nice pin bar brewing. However, with all these sales, look at all these selling that's been happening off this level. And I just want to fine tune it onto that fractal because that is the right thing to do. So that is our trend line, and not much to make out of this. You've got to move to the upside, move to the downside. That's kind of a 2-week range. Upside of the range is there, downside of the range is here. So, pin bar may be an indication that we've got some buyers coming in, but I'd want to see a pin bar with a much larger green body. That would give me a little bit more confidence that this original move, this was just a pullback, and now we're building for an explosive move to the upside, and that is the area that we're looking to target, which would be 14,858. But anyway, that's the weekly. We just need to pay attention to where the week closes. Let's get back down to lower time frames. So when we get back to the 8 hour, you can see we're back in this zone, and look to the left, you can see there's so much going on here. I just want to put this level in because this is kind of the area. It's kind of a wide zone, lots of tails all over the place, but it is testing the underside of the moving averages. So looking at this, we are making a series of lower highs and lower lows. So this is a clear downward trend. Not really anything else to say about that. The big question is whether this is a pivot point or not. And when I talk about a pivot point, really talking about an area where the market's going to move in a different direction rather than the indicator being a pivot point. So this is still a really really up and down market. We could argue that we have a inverse head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, and some sort of a shoulder to the right hand side, or some weird kind of cup and handle. For me, this move to the upside looks more like a flag rather than anything else. There's potential for a flat top triangle here as well. So mixed signals, lots of tails all over the place, lots of barbed wire, lots of confusion, back in this zone. And I'm just going to add another bit of noise to the chart here just to give you a feel for what I'm talking about. So if we extend that back to the left, and I'm not going to go too far back, but do it on your charts, and you'll see that around this area of 14,100 there is so much that has gone on in the last year or so. Every time we've got there, we've either bought, or we've broken through it, or we've sort of bounced around it. So it's not something which I'm really keen on trading. So either I'm not really keen on a break the upside or a break the downside in this area, just based on the history of what's happened here. And that's on the 3 hour. If we come back down to the hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, look at that chaos there for 3-4 days in that area. So my view of this is we need to clear this space before even looking at anything. So we do have a crossover, although we've got some diversions brewing on the hour, so that's indicating a potential pullback. We do have the close of the market down here by the 155, and then this is the futures market. So I'd expect some kind of a pullback, and I don't see structure here that we can build on, but this bottom of this rectangle I put in at 13,960, let's just say 1,400, just below 1,400, somewhere around there. I suspect we get some kind of a pullback back into this area. Wouldn't surprise me to see us come all the way back down here to 13,864. But you can see this lovely pin bar off this area here, which played out quite nicely yesterday. Now, if we just drop down to 15-minute, you'll probably find a little bit more structure here. Yep, there we go. Pin bar with an engulfing bar. Perfect setup of structure. So, often when I see a pin bar on a level like this, and I'm just going to fine tune it. When I see a pin bar on a level like this form, a lot of times I'll just place my trade just above the pin bar with the stop below it and just let it play out, because it more often than not plays out. Also with a grouping of the oscillators to the downside. So moving averages all pointing to the upside. So everything is correct for a trade to the upside. And that in itself, if you just take a bit of a wider stop loss, just say you have a 100-point stop loss, look how far back below you are, and then you're looking at a 200-point gain, so 2-to-1 trade. Okay, so for me at the moment, I suspect pullback first, looking at the oscillators, looking for some kind of a pullback. If we do find structure in amongst these moving averages on the 15-minute, it is game on for another move up. And I would look at 14,230 as my first target. That would be the other side of this zone. So that's kind of my view here. Probably a short scalp for not short scalp, but a trade to the upside, but a short term. I think if that makes sense. So we're not looking to short. We're looking to go with the current 15-minute trend this morning. And that is pull back onto structure, build a base, and then we're looking for a continuation up. Not going to be very far. It's just going to, when I talk about short period, it's really just about how many hours you're going to hold this trade, or even minutes. So I'd be looking for more a 100-point trade rather than anything else. So look for the structure, get in. Get your stop loss in. Make sure that you've got a stop loss of around 100, and then you're looking for 100-point gains. So it's it's a quick in and out, basically, a scalp, a long scalp to the upside. Okay. Anyway, hope I didn't confuse anybody. It is Friday. It helps you somewhat, and we'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers for now.